Hello everyone, welcome to online classes. In my previous video I had explained about introduction to finance, meaning of finance and some definitions about finance. Now in our today's video I am going to discuss about scope of financial management. Before knowing about the scope of financial management, let me know what is meant by financial management. See, the word financial management consists of two words. Those are finance and management. The word financial management consists of two words. Those are finance and management. Here, the word finance is nothing but the money which is used to carry out business activities. Finance is nothing but the money which is used to carry out business activities. Finance is the art and science of managing money, as we already discussed in introduction part. Finance is the art and science of managing money. So it is not only merely money, it is about identifying, obtaining and allocating source of money. It is concerned with identifying, obtaining, that means acquiring or procuring and allocating sources of money. So that is about finance. And one more thing, see, finance is regarded as the lifeblood of business. Finance is regarded as the lifeblood of business. Why? Because without finance it is not possible to imagine to run the business. So that's why finance it is recorded as the lifeblood of every business. However, a man cannot survive without proper blood circulation. Like that only, it is not possible for business to run without proper finance. See, next word, management. As we all know, management is nothing but art of getting things earned through others. Management is nothing but art of getting things earned to others. So it is the process of planning, organizing, coordinating and controlling the various resources, so the accomplishment of organizational goals. How? Here we can see that financial management is the process of planning, organizing, coordinating and controlling the financial resources of the enterprise. So here the word financial management includes two words. One is finance and the other is management. Here finance is not only money, it is about identifying, obtaining and allocating sources of money. So first we have to identify the money, and next we have to raise the funds. That means we have to identify money and we have to properly allocate those funds in a proper manner. So that is about finance. Next come to management. Management is nothing but art of getting things earned through others. So financial management is the process of planning, organizing, coordinating and controlling the financial resources of the enterprise. See, next, financial management meaning. Financial management means planning, organizing, directing and controlling the financial activities such as procurement and utilization of funds of the enterprise. It means applying general management principles to financial resources of the enterprise. See, financial management means planning, organizing, directing and controlling the financial activities such as procurement and utilization. Here those two words, procurement and utilization, are most two important elements in the financial management. See, now let us see the definition of financial management. See the first definition. Financial management is the activity concerned with planning, raising, controlling and administering of funds used in the business. Again I am saying, financial management is the activity concerned with planning, raising, controlling and administering of funds used in the business. This definition is according to Gutman and Dogel. So according to him, financial management is the activity concerned with planning. Here planning is nothing but how much funds will be required in the business, and that should be planned, and from which source we have to gather those funds, and finally we have to control those funds properly. That means we have to invest those funds in a proper manner. And see the next one. Financial management deals with the procurement of funds and their effective utilization in the business. Financial management deals with the procurement of funds and their effective utilization in the business. And this definition is according to S.C. Kuchel. So according to him, financial management deals with the procurement of funds and their effective utilization in the business. Here procurement and effective utilization, these two elements are most important in financial management. Okay. See, financial management refers to the sequential activities such as there are two approaches of financial management. There are two approaches of financial management. One is traditional approach and the other is modern approach. See, traditional approach of financial management deals with only procurement of funds, but modern approach of financial management deals with both procurement and effective utilization of funds. These two are very important. In financial management activities. See, procurement of funds is very important. Here procurement is nothing but acquiring, that means obtaining the funds, and we have to properly utilize those funds. Whatever we have procured, that should be utilized in a proper manner. That means modern approach of financial management deals with both procurement and effective utilization of funds in the business. Here two approaches are there. One is traditional approach and the other is modern approach. Traditional approach deals with only procurement of funds. Procurement means acquiring. And next, modern approach of financial management deals with both procurement and effective utilization of funds. So next, see the next one. Ensuring predetermined targeted minimum returns on such investments and expenses. See, whatever money we invest to purchase some fixed assets, and that return should be in maximum. Whatever money if you want to purchase some fixed asset, then that return should be in a maximum. And for every business, main aim is to earn profits. Before to earn profits in the business, before that we have to meet some expenses. We have to meet so many expenses. So because of that, we have to observe getting income in a proper or for so you have to observe so we have to observe whether the income is getting proper or not, or whether the return should be in maximum or not. So, and see the next one, allocation of the excess of returns over investment, that is to retain a part of the excess in the business and to distribute the rest to the owners of the business. See, every business organization have to keep some portion of profits as kept aside. So this is what called retained earnings. Okay, why? Because to meet the future contingencies. Why? Because future is uncertain now, so we can't tell what is going to happen in future. So for this purpose, every business will maintain some portion of profits kept aside in the business to meet the future contingencies. So we have to pay tax, we have to pay the interest on debentures, or we have to pay dividend to shareholders. So after all the payments, remaining amount will be given to the owners. After all the payments, remaining amount will be given to the owners. That means remaining amount, excess part, will be distributed among the owners. So financial management is concerned with all those activities. First one is procurement of money, and next one, utilization of the procured money. That means whatever fund we have procured, that should be utilized in a proper manner, and we have to ensure that there are targeted minimum returns on such investments and expenses. And finally, allocation of the excess of returns over investment, that is to retain a part of the excess in the business, and that amount should be distributed among the owners. So these are the activities involved in financial management. Now see the scope of financial management. See, scope of financial management. First one, estimates capital requirements. Second one, decides capital structure. Third one, sources of finance. Fourth one, selects investment patterns. Fifth one, cash management. Sixth one, implementation of financial controls. And last one, usage of surplus. See the first one, estimates capital requirements. See, financial management helps in anticipation of funds required for running the business. So effective financial management helps in anticipation of funds required for running the business. That means it helps to estimate or plan. So we have to estimate or plan well in advance. So how much fund is required, how much fund we have to gather, or how much fund is there to run the business. And next, we have to estimate fixed and working capital requirements for carrying out all business activities. See, every business requires two types of capital. One is fixed capital and the other is working capital. Here fixed capital is nothing but the money which is required by the business to purchase fixed assets to run the business. Fixed capital is nothing but the money which is required by the business to purchase the fixed assets for to run the business. And here working capital means the money which is required by the business to meet the day-to-day operations of the business. So that's why working capital is also known as revolving capital or circulating capital or operating capital. And see the next and next see the finance manager prepares a budget of all the expenses and revenues for a particular time period, and on the basis of which capital requirements are determined. So in every company, finance manager have to estimate the capital, how much fund we have to required, and how much working capital, fixed capital required to run the business. Finance manager, it is the duty of finance manager to estimate in advance. Okay, see the next one. And see next, decides capital structure. See, capital structure, here capital structure is nothing but ratio of various components in the entire capital. See, it involves deciding the proper portion of different securities like common equity, preferred equity, and debt. That means issue of equity shares, preferred shares, issue of debentures, bonds, or combination of issue of equity and preferred shares or equity and debentures. These types of combinations are called capital structure. See again, I am saying issue of equity shares, preferred shares, or issue of debentures, bonds, or combination of issue of equity and preferred shares or equity and debentures. These types of combinations are called capital structure. So financial management involves deciding the proper portion of different securities like common equity, equity, preferred equity, and debt. So the proper balance between debt and equity should be attained, which minimize the cost of capital. So every business should try to make a balance between debt and equity. So while deciding the capital structure, the financial manager should consider some important factors like cost of raising funds, funds from various sources period for which the funds are required, risk and returns are involved in which source. Finance manager have to decide. So finance manager have to decide how much cost is required for raising funds, and decide on which period funds are required, whether long term or short term, and estimates. So finance manager have to estimate whether for long term or short term. He have to estimate the risk and how much returns it will get. It is the duty of finance manager. So it is the duty of finance manager in every company while deciding the capital structure. So all these factors should be considered by the finance manager, like cost of raising funds, period for which fund are required, or risk and returns are involved in each source. So second one is deciding capital structure is very important. And see next one, select sources of funds, sources of finance. See, select sources of funds. These see, there are various sources available for raising funds like shares, bonds, debentures, retained earnings, etc. See, various sources available for raising funds. What are those? Shares, bonds, debentures, retained earnings, so etc. like that. So every business should properly analyze different sources of funds available, and that we have to choose the cheapest and cheapest one which involves in minimal risk. Every business should properly analyze different sources of funds and we have to choose the cheapest one which involves the minimal risk. So finance required for short term include finance required both short term and long term. So here short term includes banks, financial institutions, and public deposits. And whereas long terms includes share capital, debentures, and borrowing from financial institutions can be selected. Here long term is fixed capital and short term is working capital. Okay, here long term is fixed capital. That means we have to um, it long term refers to fixed capital and short term refers to the working capital. Okay, see next one, selects investment patterns. Fourth one is select investment patterns. See, once funds are procured, it is important to allocate. Uh, Once funds are procured, it is important to allocate them among profitable investment avenues. So, the investment proposal should be properly analyzed regarding its safety, profitability, and liquidity. Okay, so after the procurement of funds, what the company should do? After the procurement of funds, what the company should do? That means what the financial manager should do means he had to select the proper investment pattern. See, the investment proposal should be properly analyzed regarding its safety, profitability, and liquidity. So, these three elements are very important. That means safety of investment, profitability of investment, and liquidity of investment. See, here liquidity is nothing but the assets can easily converted into cash, and the cash can gets easily converted into assets. Okay, so these three elements can be considered by the finance manager while making the patterns of investment. And see the next one, see management of cash. That means cash management. This is very important in every financial management. So financial management monitors all fund movements in an organization. That means finance manager supervise all cash investments through proper accounting of all cash inflows and outflows. See, so every finance manager have to supervise all cash movements through proper accounting. That means cash inflows and outflows. See the next one, sixth one, implementation of financial controls. That means applying financial controls. See, monitoring of the financial performance of funds raised and invested by a company in the business is an important function of the financial management. That means finance manager have to monitor all the financial performance in a company. Monitoring of the financial performance of funds raised and invested by a company in the business is an important function of the financial management. So for this purpose, various analytical tools and techniques, that means tools and techniques are available which should be used and implemented by every organization. See here some tools are nothing but like ratio analysis or BEP, means break even point analysis. BEP means break even point analysis. By using these tools and techniques, financial manager have to observe and control cash inflow and outflow. So BEP means no profit or no loss. So here if we here no BEP means no profit or no loss. That means no profit, no gain. So financial manager have to consider all these fact tools and techniques are available which should be used in every organization. So see the next one, proper uses of surplus, and last one, seventh one, uses of surplus. Proper uses of surplus. See, after the payments of all statutory dues, the balance of profit earned is refunded to as the surplus of the business. Its allocation is due for three purposes. One is bonus distribution to the workman, second one dividend distribution to the shareholders, and third one reinvestment in the business. See, after all the payments, the remaining amount is called surplus. After all the payments, that means after issuing of debentures, after issuing of interest, equity shares, after payment of after payment of tax, after all the payments, the remaining amount is called surplus. These surplus amount can be utilized for distribution to the workman. First one is workman, that means issue of wages, salaries, like that, some expenses. That amount should be utilized for distribution to the workman. And next, issue of dividend to the shareholders. Next it should be distributed to the shareholders, or we have to pay interest on the equity shares, like that. And next, remaining amount, it will be reinvested in the business. Okay, see, again I'm saying, see, after all the payments, the remaining amount, it is called surplus. The remaining amount is called surplus, and this surplus amount can be utilized for three main purposes. One is bonus distribution to the workers, like salaries, wages, like that. And next one, issue of dividend to the shareholders. And last, third one, reinvestment in the business. So, scope of financial management is estimates capital requirements, decides capital structure. Third one, sources of finance. Fourth one, selects investment patterns. Fifth one, cash management. Sixth one, implementation of financial controls. And last one, uses of surplus. So guys, this is about scope of financial management. I hope you understand, and again we will see in the next class. Thank you.